Hello, Edward. I don't know, to be honest. I guess maybe just trying to pick up some things that I'm willing to talk about, such as the whole bad news. Makes sense. Well, anyway, I would probably say I'll start with the bad news since I mentioned about it earlier in was whatever. So I successfully factory reset my Samsung, which is the thing that I use to make those image by image animations with Donald to Heroes, capture the QR codes from my Switch, just upload those clips and bring them all together and make a whole entire random moments, whatever you want to call it. So I done that, and I don't know what happened. I mean, the wallpaper I had before isn't there. Yet somehow I'm given this. This is actually one of the pictures I did had, which I decided to edit myself using a certain app. So I don't know. I went into the gallery. Nothing's there. It's all empty. No, those are not twins, Edward. Those two are actually different people. Which I didn't really state his name yet. Personally, my camera still doesn't work right where I can hear noise and stuff. So that's a letdown. Somehow my contacts grown a lot more bigger after re-entering the account I was using for this device. And it just comes from. I'm not really sure if you'll be able to see it from here. Try my best. See it up there? It's about right there. Doesn't that look like a way older version of the Play Store before it even became way more advanced? Just seeing that really kind of, I don't know. So I went in it. And when I went in, yeah, doesn't look exactly like the Play Store today, doesn't it? This looks like some old mess before the Play Store even got many updates. Therefore, most of the things that we're able to access now, oh my gosh, they're not accessible on this device of mine. Including Gotcha Club. Pretty much, I was searching a lot, and uh, it's not the best results. What do I mean by that? Whenever I search Gotcha, it gives me these random books, and the thumbnails of it is just, oh, what is all this? I don't really know any other way to explain it to you, but yeah, that's all I get. And it was difficult for me to try to search for the Luna games. So I keep trying many other ways, and well, I got something, but it really isn't much. And the first thing that came to me was Pocket Chibi Anime Dress Up, which is made by Illinois themselves. Surprisingly, it's rated E, but I slightly see it as a T in a way. Pretty much what it is, it's an old gacha game where you pretty much make your characters, but they're like little chibi size. You have a whole entire big head and you have a whole small body. Big head. I didn't really think this was really going to be the only game that was possible on here. So I tried looking for more things that was made by them themselves. But most of the gacha stuff seems to be not the kind that I'm looking for. In fact, it would almost look like as if this app like somehow managed to receive some of the newer stuff that doesn't really even matter. What I'm saying is the new gacha games do not exist on this uh, app store. To be honest, I can't even find most of them anymore. I wasn't really sure of what exactly was Pocket Chibi. I did give it a little bit of a try in curiosity. And well, oh, let me show you what I've pretty much done. This is Pocket Chibi. And this is all I pretty much done here. And that was pretty much it. That was all I could really do in this. Like, really, that was all I could do. Pretty much all you do is dress up your little character, and that's it. What I mean by that? Well, since the whole incident with Gacha Studio, they had to shut all chat servers down in every single Lumina game that has an existing chat. Due to the fact that it was no longer safe, it was removed. And I don't think it's ever returning at all, so. Oh well. Now, when I was examining this Oddly game, it appears that maybe this one came out after maybe Studio. I want to say it came after World, because World didn't really had that much customization. So I feel like it was first World, because Gacha World actually was like one of the most best Lumina games due to all of its action and the scenery and all kinds of stuff, and the many amount of characters there are to choose from to help you out in battle. I mean, it's fast action too, so there's like a lot of great things about it. So I figured maybe the next one was Studio. But then again, I don't think Studio probably was the next one. There's this one that pretty much has where the characters fight with fidget spinners. It's very strange. But, oh man. When I first played it, when I did my first 50 rolls with the gacha, I got some crazy high-powered characters. Especially this one character, female, wears like I don't know, something like, it's all brownish like a bear. And for some dumb reason, she be throwing heavy crits. I don't know how. Women be hitting like a whole entire truck, like one-shotting almost everyone I face. And the levels just keep going up and up and up and up and up. I'm sitting there like, oh, this thing is carrying everyone. As I began to advance in the almost endless levels, I've been getting new other gacha characters that are actually stronger and higher rankings, making good use of them. Now, when it comes to their fidget spinners, it kind of had me thinking, how the heck do you spin that? Especially Reeds. Reeds pretty much is nothing but like a bunch of knives all stuck together. It's like four on one. And I guess, well, there's probably no other possible way they could uh, design is, but just make it be all daggers. Though some of the characters actually really had some really great design with their fidget spinners, and some just had a way too large looking one, but not really that much for the design. Such as, well, I completely don't know her name. She looks like a whole entire Cupid, whatnot. Pretty much has a, I don't know, how would you say it? I'm sure you possibly known her in the Gacha series. Wears white and pink, has blonde hair, eyes pretty much have hearts in it. I still never known her. Though I think Self. No, not. Is it Self? I forgot her name. One of the grass. When the wind went out, the characters actually had like a really well designed fidget spinner. So then after that, I figured, then Gotcha Studio came. After Studio, it had to be Chibi because Chibi actually has way more stuff than Studio did. The dress up system is the same like Studio, except for the difference is the extra stuff that you would have to pretty much get cost the gems. Now, there's a thing where you can buy gems in the shop. I'm not really sure if I could probably say the price is ridiculous that much, but things aren't really that expensive in this game at all. So, and the Chibi Deluxe actually really isn't so bad. Pretty much just $4, and it removes ads too. That's not really so bad. The Gym Pack 1 pretty much is just $1, which gives you 200. Gym Pack 2, $5. You get like 1,500 gems. Gym Pack 3 gives you 400 gems just for $10. Gym Pack 4 gives you 10,000 gems for $20. I'm pretty much rounding up the numbers. I don't really understand what's the whole point of ending. Never mind. I know why. Now, another thing that got me, there is studio mode, so sorry for saying that's pretty much everything you could ever do. There is studio mode, though you can't really have that many people since it's just 8 in total if you ever buy the rest of a row. Which I'm not really going to do that because there's really no point in doing it. It's not like I have that much of an interest in this thing. I've been looking all through. I've been looking all through the accessories and stuff, and I found out that there are like extra stuff that pretty much are new. Never seen, not even in Gacha Studio itself. So as I advanced, I was like, oh wow. I would probably say the eyes. The eyes were something. No kidding. That was really something. These are like something that never even came to the new Gacha games themselves. Which actually gets me. Why do the developers forget about all this stuff? I get it, you can be creative in your own way, but like, don't you think it's best to provide like enough of the stuff for people to like be even more creative with the game? Which reminds me, when I made Cordelia Agent Ocean in Gacha Studio, there was this set of eyes that looked like there was like a little bunny head and had like bunny ears on the eye. I chose that for her. Now, when I went to the newer gacha games, they didn't have any of that. So therefore, I had to kind of change her up, which is pretty upsetting, to be honest. Not like when you pretty much use an old pair of eyes for your character once, and then when you try remaking them, those pair of eyes that you're pretty much looking for is no longer there. That feels like a flaw when it comes to Lumine's newer games now. The poses, they're not really bad, I would probably say. Well, I don't really know if I would say they're not really bad, because some of them are actually really old, and they don't really pay attention much to the old stuff anymore. Let's see. The hair. Oh, hang on. So, like I was saying, some of the hairstyles are also new to me because I've never seen them. Never seen them in Gacha Studio itself either. Which also hinted out that this is definitely a more newer game than Gacha Studio. And I gotta say, some of the new hairstyles actually look pretty good. I went over hats. There were some new hats in there. I've never seen those either. When I was looking at the clothes section, I was actually surprised, just seeing the old stuff you can and styles you can pick out for your character. I haven't really seen it in a long time ever since I've been in studio. I saw some newer stuff that I've never really seen before, which never really originally been in studio again. As I kind of advance, some of the costumes were a little strange to see because the fact that they say that the game itself is rated E, even though it looks like it's more likely for teens, if you know what I mean. It would, I would probably say there were like fewer of the female costumes and male costumes that were just, I don't know, not really looking like they could be in a rated E game. I proceed and I actually found some actually pretty cool stuff in the very end, which never really been seen before. I go to weapons, and which is actually my favorite part, and I've noticed some of the weapons that were in there are actually also seen in Gacha World itself. And it surprised me when I saw the legendary Gacha units weapons in there, such as Penelope Coconut, which I never really understood why they made her Dark Helmet in Club until I saw this one video that kind of showcased her moves. and I was not able to understand why they made her a dark element. Which is strange, because in Gacha World they made her water. I guess I would say she's both water and dark. Got that great ninja element there. So yeah, it was pretty awesome to actually see the legendary Gacha units weapons there. Pretty much you can use them now. So that's awesome. Some of the hammers in there and many other weapons in there were also never seen, therefore they were pretty much new. The old stuff still stayed. Now, I was a little disappointed in the fact that the hammers I had in this game never really came into the newer games, which I'll talk about in maybe like a few more minutes. The capes, some of the capes in here that I've seen are also new, which probably never really been in aren't really new in the newer Gacha games. When I probably first saw this like little, well, I don't know how to explain it. These like little billboards that have like strings that just attached to your character. At first, I thought that was new when I saw it in the club, but no, it's actually a new thing in Chibi. I look at more of this stuff, and a lot of them were new. To be honest, some of these the cape parts, they were actually really well designed compared to the ones we have now. Now the profile isn't really much. Pretty much you can just choose your name, display element, and display rarity. For Aquarius, I pretty much had his rarity on 6 due to the fact that he's actually really good character. Well balanced one too. And if you're ever curious for, let's see, oh no. Why did you give me that stupid ad? You know what? Yeah, the ads in this is completely stupid. They're very oh my gosh. They're very difficult to pretty much get out. And the X, whatever you would call, is pretty much not visible. So terrible ads. Terrible ads. Anyway, so as for his rarity 5, Speedy, I made him rarity 4 due to pretty much his best thing is being quick and all, yet still has to worry about taking certain damage types, such as physical, since his physical defense is completely garbage. And for rating, you probably guessed it, I made him 6. No, I would not make him 7 because that really wouldn't make any sense. For 7 is the legendary rank. Now, Studio. Studio really isn't much, as you can kind of see. Yes, I have to hold the pad like this because that's actually how they kind of made this. Which then again is pretty confusing. I looked on the pets and props, and I've kind of noticed some of the stuff that are actually in there were actually made in this game before Gacha Life. Which, if you can remember some of the stuff I made when I was using Gacha Life, which Elements of Heroes, the very first one, that was terrible. It really was terrible, to be honest. Yes, I'm actually calling my own creation terrible. Because it's like, why did I do this? There's no storyline or anything in this. I could have done better. If I had known better. The props that you're able to use in this game are pets, props, plants, other, and special. Special is what really surprised me. Where pretty much all of these little special stuff in here I also used in Got Your Life, but I never knew they actually originally came out in Chibi first. I kind of wish some of this stuff would actually return to the new Gacha games, but turns out they don't. Well, now that I kind of showed y'all about this game, I am definitely allowed to go ahead and delete it because I'm not really keeping it. Oh my gosh, this thing. No, I don't want chicken wings. Now, I tried seeing if I could restore data to maybe fix all this mess, and it turns out that doesn't work. How? I have no clue. Google Chrome pretty much acts up a lot. I probably wouldn't say act up, but it's completely slow as ever. Slower than before due to the fact that this really isn't the updated version of Chrome. Pretty much everything in here is outdated. So I thought maybe I can just, uh, you know, system update the device. Or should I say software update. Try this and have the internet. The junk wants to say that there was a whole entire error. So that just kind of showed that, you know what? That's it. It's over. This device, this thing right here, this thing's no good. So it hit me. I need a new Samsung, a better one. So I went online and tried looking at the prices of Samsungs that are made this year. And what the heck, bro? I saw one that was like 1,000 something. And I'm just looking like, how? And here's the thing that gets me. My mother bought me a whole entire Union tablet, which is those drawing tablets, just for me the drawing. That was for like $300 and something. Compared that to a whole entire Samsung pad. Like, how? How? How is a Union tablet way cheaper than a whole entire Samsung tablet? That just looks a little messed up to me. Whatever the reason is, it still feels pretty dumb. Not even sure if I would go for myself. So, now I have a new quest to get a new Samsung. As the weeks goes, I've been starting to grow a little impatient with my story of Elder Heroes Return of Corruption due to the fact that I had to make such a terrible stop. It's like, bro, why? This is the excuse why I have to stop doing this. And so 4 days pass, and then I began to feel like this is just not me. It doesn't even feel like me. Because I like doing this stuff. But like not doing it for maybe like a whole entire month. Not even at least once. That's a problem. Here's another reason why. All these scene ideas keep replaying in all of my head. Yet I can't use those ideas instantly because, well, I don't have the requirements to do so. Which makes me very sad. Makes me very, very sad. And I already can tell trying to get a new Samsung is probably gonna take, I don't know, I hope not more than a year. So yeah. The more I grew impatient, the more I keep thinking maybe I should just download the app on my AT&T, which I also want to complain about that, so we'll get there soon. But before I actually get to that, Got Your Life 2 just came out today. Yet, a problem has already occurred. What's that problem? Bugs, glitches, error! A whole lot of things. I'm telling you, for a really good game many people waited for, now coming out and still experiencing all this stuff after from being fixed, that's pretty much a big disappointment. So, in the Discord server, most people are pretty much reporting these bugs. That way they can be fixed. Because who wants to play a game and have to deal with all the bugs and errors? Shoot, if I were to make a game myself, I would be scared to actually hear anything about bugs happening. That would just be terrible. That's probably going to be the one thing I would ever fear if I were to make a game. Have either myself or maybe someone else to experience a possible bug. Speaking of making my own games, I've been kind of getting around online trying to ask those if they know how to make a 2D pixel game or something like that. Then again, maybe, well, I don't know. That probably wouldn't work either. But yeah, a 2D pixel game. How could you possibly make it? What would be the very first step? What engine do I have to use? I would probably say that's still progress. Even my mother herself knows that I'm on the creativity. Now, the AT&T, the phone I have, I do not know how the heck does that company be selling these kind of phones when they could barely even work. What am I talking about? So let me tell you this. When I got this AT for Christmas, when I tried turning it on, like for the very first time, the thing already went to the state where it just froze right at the lock screen. I was afraid I already destroyed the thing. Surprisingly, it was still running and it was still working. I thought, oh, everything's normal now. Wrong. Nothing is normal about this device. The thing can't even handle not a single app. Say if you were to possibly run a game on that thing, it possibly can't even play it. Like all it would probably take like you maybe like a whole entire minute or so, and pop, you're right back at the home. Therefore, your game has crashed. You lost all your progress, everything you done. Bad enough, it's not even the game apps only itself. Even YouTube and all other stuff that has video playing or any sort of movement, maybe some app like Discord, it all lags. This phone probably wasn't even designed to handle almost anything at all. This thing can't even handle some game like Dancing Line because of all the effects and stuff. Like anything that uses that so much. Pop, back at home, you lost all your progress. Congratulations. To be honest, I don't think they even deserve to earn money from selling things like that. They really should change that up into something better than creating a whole entire device that's just gonna crash with every app that I can use. Even my brother had the same experience. It's like, what in the world? So I guess there goes another quest on the list. Buy yourself a better phone. I kind of want to complain about Gacha Club and most of the Gacha games. In fact, I wanted to make a video of it, but I wasn't even sure if it was possible. So, the Gacha series, right? The ones that have the action fighting styles and stuff. For me, when it comes to weapons, I'm pretty much gonna go for the hammers. I'm more of a hammer guy. You go slow and steady, and then you kind of like just take your time to kind of predict what's your opponent gonna do. What can you do to unleash devastating strikes? Now, gotcha. When Gotcha Life came, when I had some characters that I had to use hammers. Kind of like Stone. He used the hammer and both his fists, since he's a fighting tiger. What was the problem? It was difficult for these hammer using characters to land their hits exactly the way you should when it comes to holding hammers. They shouldn't be always held with one hand. They really should be held with two hands. Therefore, when you try to make your swing, you won't be struggling trying to use all your strength on one arm, because it really wouldn't make any sense for you to do so. It probably would be a huge pain to your arm. Now, when Club came, I actually thought Club was going to be a lot more better. I given it a 5-star before, but then after realizing when I looked back into the old Gacha games, I dropped a star. I even did it in the App Store itself. No 4-star. Not 4-star. No 5 stars. 4. Why did I take it back on 4? Because of crap. What is that crap exactly? Well, the hammers, right? It also goes for the axes too. There was like a little war like looking axe that's also in the game. Both those and the hammers is like small as ever. I mean, I don't understand. How do you expect to hold out 2 hands? That junk is like so darn small. Probably like the size of a whole computer screen. Like, hello? This is not supposed to be small. This is supposed to be big. What were you thinking? And so, as I look back into the old Luname games, such as Gacha World and Gacha Studio, since they also have like hammers and axes and stuff, Helios, which is the light element speedrunner in the Gacha series, he had an axe. A whole entire thunder axe. That thing was actually pretty big. It almost looked like a halberd. The only difference was the fact that not only it had like it had like two blade sides. One blade on the right side, another blade on the bottom left. A character in the Lin group, I never really got her name, but when you use her, she appears with a whole entire big hammer. She's holding it with two hands. Something like that, for something that size, that's the exact size the hammer should have been in the Gacha Club game. Now, I get it, you can make the props and stuff all big or small, however you want it. But to me, it wasn't big enough. You can make it big, but it won't be way bigger than you. Yes, I wanted the hammers to be oversized. Anyway. You know, when I made that fight with the villains against Bolander, I had to use another character slot to actually make the hammer a lot more larger. Which, therefore, I decided to use my imagination a little bit, having where pretty much Bolander just fuses like all these rocks onto his arm like a whole entire gauntlet, which also holds the humongous rocky hammer that he has. That bear was smashing like big time. Though it could have been better if I didn't have to do that, because the process of trying to have like two things all together on each other at once, using the same pose and all, that's a difficult thing to do. So it's like, okay, have this here, have that there. Really could have been better. Where I probably didn't even have to throw that in. The hammer was meant to originally be way bigger than Bonder himself. Pretty much almost the size of Dragon Spirit Jaden. Which I never really understood how could I possibly make that boss fight with the villains. For he is completely humongous. Way bigger than Maya. Yep. Way bigger than Maya. Which, of course, Maya herself pretty much did that on purpose. However, the Dragon Spirit is supposed to be completely humongous. I thought that maybe since Gacha Live 2 is coming out, maybe we can have some better hammers. Apparently, no, we did not. As I pretty much was looking around the app last night, or well, during the midnight, since it was like 12 something. They've done it again. No new hammers. So I tried maybe doing some of the commissions that they had, where you could have some new stuff, such as a new hammer that's actually a much more larger hammer for its original size. Um, Maybe like a futuristic hammer. I tried making that, even though it doesn't really look much. I tried making a Tonfas, which they already had like a futuristic Tonfas in the game, so I thought I made like a normal kind, pretty much where you have like a little handle while you have like a whole entire blade coming out from top to all the way in the back, coming up like a curve. Now on the edges side, I decided to have extra blades on it, kind of make it look like as if you could do more cutting damage. So be happy with that once I post that in the submissions. Though my drawing wasn't exactly great, but I kind of feel like maybe Luname themselves probably would kind of get the idea of what I was trying to show them, and maybe they would like make it themselves and just put it all right in there. I don't know how it works, but if they do that, I would definitely thank them for that. Now, I not only did the weapons commissions, but I was trying to see if I can do a little new jacket commission. Pretty much, I kind of made it look like as if it's part of a robe. But the thing that slightly put me in pause was probably where I'm trying to make both a male and a female version. Though I almost feel like I'm slightly mixing it up a little bit. I'm not sure what I'll come up with for the female one, trying to make it look slightly the same like the male version, but a little bit different. Well, I think we can move on from all that now. I think I'll tell y'all this real story. Happened probably like a couple of months ago. We was coming from church. Well, we were returning home after having Monday church, which is pretty much for teens from grades 6 to 12. There was a bad storm coming. We were even able to see thunder strikes all over the place in that terrible cloud. As we pretty much tried getting in the car to leave, since, mothers care about their children. I don't know if I could say we. My little brother kind of took up most of our time. And because he wanted to have some pizza that was there, he did get it. And that's where the storm was already bad enough when it got way, like, already close to us. Now, here's the scary thing. Well, that's not scary. We're not going to go to the scary part yet. When we were about to leave the place, my brother, which you probably would know as Red Soccer Hero on YouTube, called out that he left his phone in the church. Now, here's the thing. Do you think it's really worth trying to go back in there just to look for it. It is not. And here's how. Let me tell you. As my mother drives, I'm here thinking maybe she could possibly get out of it. But no. Turns out the storm was actually faster than her own vehicle. In fact, it was so bad that it was so difficult to see almost anything. Rain was pouring so heavily, the storms were rumbling, lightning flashes all over the place. And I believe when we were like maybe like halfway there at the house, I don't know if it was halfway, we went to a stop, and before we could even continue just to make a right turn, a bolt of thunder came out of nowhere and shocked the ground. It was so close. Like us right here, it was right there. Uh, yeah, right there. And I was on the right. They didn't directly hit us. Because who knows what possible bad thing could happen. We could have been, I don't know, we could have had possible chances of meeting death there. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, that bolt came out of nowhere. It looked like it did a whole entire curve off of the car and then struck the ground. Almost as if God had mercy on us. Or I would probably say he did. It wasn't probably worth for him. Who knows if we would get out of all that. That was a terrible storm. I even had to ask him myself. I prayed to him that during the rest of the roads that we traveled just to get home, that no bolts of lightning will ever come striking near us again. And so we went. Not a single bolt came at us. I even had a metallic water bottle that I brought with me, even though I didn't really knew there was a possible storm. Did I have to take it out? Pretty much. Now, we didn't just automatically got out of the vehicle and then head straight on in. For that's pretty much a bad idea, because who knows where all those electrical charges could possibly be at. We wait for the next bolt of lightning to strike. It's a little like those racing games where you would have a countdown before everyone can actually press on push the metal, push the pedal on the metal, whatever you want to say it. When that bolt of lightning struck, we knew, get out and get it. And as for me, that had a metallic object which can attract electricity, I didn't get shot. I did not get shot. And I thank him for that. See, many don't really believe the things the Lord could possibly do. But he can do things. And it can be worth life saving. It really can. I'm telling you. Because I know. When he really came into my life, many things about me changed. Because I would say when I was in middle school, I was a bad kid. Using words that you really shouldn't be using, which parents don't really seem to understand the fact that some of their kids could still possibly be using those words behind their backs without them even knowing. Some probably don't even just care, which is a complete sad thing. Yep, I'm telling you this. And for what's going on in Israel, I don't know, guys. If you were ever told that the end of the world will come, don't take it as some random joke or false information. I believe it will happen. I believe it will happen. And I just hope that when that happens, I'll be ready to, you know, be where the Lord is at. Which, to be honest, a lot of us really should seek to actually be with Him and not be away from Him. And the progress of doing that is actually pretty tough in a way. It may seem a little easy to some, but it's pretty big. I really should read my Bible as well, because I have, but I'm not sure why I have been ignoring it. But as much as this kept going on, now I've been just thinking about it. Like I'm being told, pick that book up, read that book. So you'll understand what's going to happen to this world and what can you do to make sure that your life is actually good enough to be able to be with the Lord after your death. Many of us are pretty much afraid of death, and deaths happen a lot every single day. But for those who are closer to God, if they were to possibly die, they'll still be living with Jesus. Therefore, they don't have to worry about death anymore. And and if Christians know that's true, even the pastor knows it's true. If it's all true, we should do something. Sometimes I've always been thinking, if I were to possibly go somewhere in the mountains, pray from there, have this message of mine to possibly spread to the whole world itself. For all of the things that's like happening, we really need the Lord. I mean, it even disappoints me the fact that war is an actual thing. I mean, I can imagine how the world could be if it didn't have war. In fact, when I first uh, came into the world, I always thought, oh, this is a more peaceful planet. No harm, pain, anything negative such as that. Turns out in reality I was wrong. And I had to see the truth myself. All these things that are happening is real. Even if there are those that would attempt to prevent these certain events to happen, sometimes it's not even enough. That is sad. All of the negative things, which some wouldn't even consider it as negative, which also is considered a sin, people just see it as something good. It is not good. But even if there are those that would try to explain, the listener probably won't even listen to not a single darn thing. So, I don't really know what the world's really going to do. I just hope that for my life and for my family, we're all on the right path. I'm probably still working on my path. It's like probably almost out of the in between and closer to the light. I mean, who would want to spend their death being dead for the rest of their soul's life? Every single one of us actually has a soul. And if you ever wonder why animals be hunting animals or people be hunting animals actually don't have souls. Yes, this is an actual fact. I asked my granny, which is the the grandmother, because she's a believer. She told me animals don't have souls. So I've always thought, was our soul in these animals before before our souls came to the human's body? No, they did not. Now, if you kind of think of it, know how way back then, how this certain type of people only allowed to be in here or there. We shouldn't see each other like that. In fact, for many of those who still see others like that, we shouldn't. No matter what tone you have, that is not what their soul pretty much has. And we pretty much really should have been treating each other equally. So it was pretty much actually a blessing to have Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King, because them look what they did. They pretty much led us to this very day. The hatred because of someone is this or that, gone. Yet there are still those that still pretty much remain somewhere in the shadows. Hopefully someday they would pretty much realize this really shouldn't be you. And you really should be happy about it. I've always wondered, if the world really was going to come to an end, what would it look like? My mother had a vision like that. In fact, it was actually a dream. She told me this story. when there was a baptism that was coming soon. She had a, it was a terrible dream, but it was also something that actually will happen, where the whole world is on fire, nothing but flames, lava, and all kinds of stuff, just burning, tearing down. While there are those which who are with God are going to somewhere that doesn't have any of all that. After her seeing that, she knew she had to get baptized. And after me hearing that story, I figured, you know what? I know I fear water because of drowning and all, but I definitely need to get that as well. I don't want to be left here just to actually see all that actually did happen. I mean, think of it. There are those videos that would be talking about, oh, what if something like this were to happen to the world, or something like that were to happen to the world, such as black holes appearing out of nowhere, close to the Earth, or anything like that. You would definitely know, or you probably won't know. It's time to go. We're going to see the Lord someday. As much as I know, when I imagine the wheel, it almost feel like maybe 25 to 30% of humanity would be saved, while 70% would not. But then that percentage just continues to build up, while the other one just lowers. I'm not sure if you really ever noticed this yourself, but this generation is pretty messed up. Not sure how it became this bad, but it did. Even there are adults that would agree. I'm not even sure what's happening anymore. So, nothing really you could do about it. I wonder if there's anything else I would like to talk about today. Maybe I could talk a little bit about some games. Let's see. If I were to talk about a game, maybe the first one I would like to talk about is, well, hang on. Yes, that is my voice you're hearing. Warframe has gotten a lot of updates. But as the updates go, it's been getting some crazy weird bugs. And I don't know why. I don't even know if the developers even ever pay attention to that stuff. But they just forget about it. Maybe they would pay attention to it a little bit, but then they would probably rush it and then just, be done with it. Like it's, okay, that's it. Now, why on earth would you want to rush trying to fix something in a game? that kind of just messes up more things. The sad thing about when it comes to really good games is that when they get bugs and they just don't get fixed at all, it actually kind of hurts the game itself. If you look at Ninja, which doesn't really have much issues with bugs, but oh man, if you've been playing Ninja long enough, you are more likely to understand that game is starting to become a bit dead. How? I've heard how the game is actually losing one of its greatest players because of how bad it actually had become. And it all pretty much stays the same to this very day because of one thing. Well, actually, it's not even one thing, it's multiple things. Matchmaking is completely bad. The lab systems has been rigging the game so badly. The alt specials known as variable stance, and oh man, you know, when they first introduced those things, I actually thought that Razor's Edge and Super Strength Strike was completely annoying. Because here's the thing: Razor Edge has such a humongous hitbox, and it's a homing attack. Bad enough, it's a projectile. And I was fussing about the katana having a projectile. Like, huh? How does that make sense? It's a katana. No, a whole entire sword, like some Excalibur sword, like maybe the sword from Kirby or Legend of Zelda, where if you have like full HP, you can just like throw a whole entire shockwave. What? I mean, at this point, what's the whole point of calling it the katana class if it's gonna act like a sword, an actual regular sword, instead of having its own katana style? Like, I mean, look at how look at how samurai characters use their weapons. I mean, they don't even just use it like regular swords all the time. I don't know. Razor's Edge was always so annoying when I first got against many people that had it. It comes out way too fast. Other than the Katana class very first original special, which actually is physical damage. What's also stupid about Razor's Edge is that it does way more damage than the original special, and it doesn't make any sense. Why does it not make any sense? That's a whole entire shockwave. You're gonna tell me that hurts way more than a whole entire physical attack that pretty much comes in on impact? That's a whole entire projectile against a physical attack. To be honest, that physical attack would actually hurt a lot more than that stupid air slash looking move. Moving on, which is the Super Strength Strike, and oh my gosh. Before they could even patch that junk, that thing was so annoying on the most overused weapons in all time. The darned sushi axe. That thing was just, I don't know. You would see so many players with it, and it's just, what could you possibly do? All it takes is to simply throw it at your opponent. They're like stuck there for like probably like 3 or 2 seconds, and it's just simple combine, a pawn, that's it. Bad enough that during that time, the guy known as Get Mix didn't even use that crap. In fact, he always stick with the original special with the hammers. And the fact that he's more likely to get pawns with it as well, that's how you know he's actually too good to even have that crappy special that pretty much a bunch of pay-to-win users want to use. It kind of angered me the fact that I couldn't really block that mess at all. What do I mean by that? Well, say if you were to have like a large gum shield, and if that thing were to throw at you, you still couldn't guard it at all. So it's like, why? It even annoyed me the fact that even if you were to throw the weapon, you pretty much don't have to build it again. So it's like, really? Then I'm not really sure what would be the outcome of that if it were to be a big weapon. That would probably just reset its ability, which, of course, always would happen if it's broken. But I always felt like you really should have lost the weapon after throwing it. I mean, this isn't like Thor, because for him, he can actually command his hammer to come back. Even if you were to throw it, he can still command it to come back. So he kind of makes sense. Ninja, that doesn't make any sense. You throw a whole entire hammer, and a hammer just appears right back in your hands. You didn't even command it to come back. Not to mention, that thing exploded. So what in the world? Now, one of the stressful specials that I've dealt with, again, after the rest of those were patched, was Dragon Motor God and the whole fire trail from the other yo-yos, which is more of a driving motor kind, whatever you would call it. Dragon Motor God is the most dumbest, most stupid idea Gung-Ho ever came up with. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest. And I don't know who would pretty much see that as a really good special. That is a waste. How is it a waste? Number one, you just added that to a pretty much two weapons that came out in the season pretty much that came in Ninja for the very first time. Where those two weapons were introduced. They were healing weapons. I knew from the moment that they were very useful for team battles. It really is really useful for team battles. What do I don't like about it? It's a waste. It doesn't do any good for your allies, not even for yourself. Well, for yourself, you're only doing nothing but just throwing a bunch of big damage. Bad enough that the move itself is a big weapon. So it's like, what's even the point of trying to create a big weapon if you have a whole entire special that becomes a big weapon? Darren Jones looking like a freaking Rathalos. You over here trying to, upon activation, that thing, if you were the parry, that thing will destroy your parry and bring you into a gun bind. So then it's like, how does that even work? It's completely annoying because it doesn't trigger the little spark thing when you take so much hits and you become knocked back and you're left with invincibility. So you can like spam that almost like 3 times just to fool your opponent. That's a bad special. These are defensive weapons. And they are support weapons at the same time. You're going to tell me you're going to turn a whole entire support weapon into an offensive weapon? I don't see that as a really good weapon. I'm sorry. Or should I probably say, I'm not sorry. That's not a good special. I expected something a lot more better than that. I expected a new healing move. Maybe they like where you could cast a shield that pretty much can follow you around. Wherever you go, the shield, the area follows. If your allies are in the area, you can actually heal them. But I would probably say there may be what's the word? I can't remember what it is. You can heal your allies very well, but you won't be able to heal yourself that much, as efficient as you can heal them. I'd probably say the healing amount would probably just stay the same. You know, you have the neutral, the back, the wide. Wide one, well, no. Back is actually my favorite because duration actually is increased along with healing speeds being pretty high. Wide, if you pretty much need to cover a nice wide area for your allies, if there's a whole entire war zone going on, and you just need to like be there to keep your people going. That's what I like about using the Siberius and Popeye. I like to use it to keep everyone going. But then no one doesn't seem to understand that because when that full throttle field, when it's activated, no one would stay in there just to fully restore their whole entire life when you can get points. You can get points for healing yourself and your allies. No one pays attention to that. No one pays attention to that. Yes, you can do that. So it's like, dude, stop walking out of the stinking bubble when I activate it for you so you can restore your life and keep going. Like, what in the world, dude? What game do you think you're in? They didn't just make these weapons for nothing. The next special that pretty much was completely aggravating was the one that those driving yo-yos, whatever they're called, they have, which is that fire trail. Pretty much you can ignite a whole entire row of enemies with fire. They take the fire burning status, and you can just dish out more damage, and boom. It's kind of annoying in a way. I actually never thought that they would use the element of fire in the game, yet they never really had water, electricity, or anything else like that. In the Ninja Community server itself, me and I think it was Tisu, would kind of like have these ideas of what would these weapons be able to do if they had different elements, which also would kind of change up the way of battle, which actually will be a little bit of a fun extra mode in the game. I would like it. That wheel is so annoying. Unlike the original yo-yos, their special is actually a really great idea. Some of these weapons actually came with the best special ideas for their specials, such as the iron noise and drum beat, high tempo beat. That thing actually makes those weapons a lot more better than what they were before. It's even a lifesaver if you actually spam it out of being gun-bodied by someone. You can stop them from delivering any more attacks and counter delivering, or should I say, getting your revenge right back on them. It's actually kind of funny, and it's useful. I like the kind of they give them for the yo-yo because not only that it covers a pretty wide area, but it's also a shield against gunshots. So I'm pretty much more likely to use it just to actually defend myself. That's actually a really useful special. The one for drill, it kind of makes sense. So, I mean, it is kind of annoying due to the fact that it can kind of go through your parry, but that kind of proves it's a technique, kind just that its damage output just almost doesn't make any sense for it. The final attack really should deliver most of the damage, while the extras just do small. Which the final attack actually can be parried in a way. It's a little difficult to do so, but it's possible. Uh, hmm. The boards, I wouldn't say they're annoying, since they're rare to see. It's just that it's difficult to deal with them. That's why they're so tough to handle. The gloves. Boxing gloves and the other gloves, for their all special, it's actually pretty annoying due to the fact that they're like, they have invincibility. So it clearly doesn't make any sense. That's almost like saying Ryu does a whole entire Shoryuken and he can't even be hit when doing that. It's like, how does that even work? I mean, you could possibly like just go ahead and use that move in the middle of a blast of a Fujiyama rocket and like survive for like a few seconds. So you're not going to survive the whole entire full blast unless you have the barrier. But it's pretty dumb. They should remove the invincibility. The cannons, their all special is actually kind of like a more of a blast. The closer it is, the more damage it does. That's fine and all, but oh my gosh, Booker was freaking annoying as heck with that junk. Her junk was like one-shotting. Like, huh? How did that even work? Which leads us to lab. When Variable Stance came in, it wasn't really seen much as an annoying special until its popularity grew. And people found out how broken that junk was. In fact, that made the Durn Slash Kicks X so broken that it was so easy to earn Epons every single time. You can just throw yourself on top of the Durn leaderboard on first place above everyone else because you use one dumb special that you can't even counter. Someone you can't even fight back. Even Mallet, who actually has the brains of this game, knowing how the weapon stuff works, even he agrees. That's a dumb special. Even there are those that never even wanted that special to exist in the first place. They actually regret having that. Even I regret having that thing to actually be in this game. What do I mean by that? I saw it as a cool thing, but until seeing its performance and how overused that junk was, I'd given up on that. Variable Stance is actually one of the reasons why people are quitting Ninja. Yet Gung won't even do a crap about it. They don't even give a crap about what changes they make to the game to make it better. And every time when they say that they do this, that, yada, 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 make your experience more enjoyable in the game, it's all a lie. Yet they don't even see it themselves. We see these developer diaries every single time. And when they say mess like this, you already know they're lying about it because it's just the same mess. Especially the fact that when they buff the Ghost and the Razor's Edge, oh my gosh, what were they thinking? Why did those things deserve to have a buff? Especially a Ghost. Like, for real? Why did you have the buff Ghost if you can, like, let's see here. You have a whole entire big weapon. You can deliver one Ghost and then attack as they're stunned. Back crash attack. Bam. Gun bind. Easy as that. You get your free upon. Now you can do that with the little weapons. With a small gun. Well, medium gun shot. Medium gun Ghost. That's some crap right there. And if you pretty much disagree with that, then I don't know where the heck you have been. You're in the wrong place, man. You are completely in the wrong place. Variable sense still remains one of the number one top annoying things now. I actually want it to be gone as well. I don't want to see it anymore. I thought it was really good, but that thing needs to go. Either they're gonna greatly nerf that thing, or they're just gonna do some same dumb crap just to leave it there, or probably make it even more better, which is not going to be better for us who completely find it very annoying. It's way too easy to use. The cooldown of the weapon is too fast. It's bad. And then we have Lab. You know, when I first saw Lab, I always thought, finally, something that I can actually have actually become better against the toughest players in the game. Wrong. It actually doesn't. In fact, it actually ruins the matchmaking. Because if you probably noticed this yourself, the fact that team battles have been having where newcomers are joining with people that are actually really, really strong in the game, they have no idea what's coming for them. And that's a problem. A big problem. A problem that Gung Ho pretty much, in my opinion, failed to fix, which you would call matchmaking. When they got rid of where you can see the levels of people, I always wonder, did they do that so we could not complain about this and that person being paired up with going against this person who pretty much is way better than them? I don't know, dude. But that looks like a failure to me. Yet the matchmaking still becomes garbage. Ninja today, the fact that it's slowly starting to die out, you rarely could play Battle Royale with an 8-player lobby. It's now rare to even get 8 people now. If you've seen that yourself, I'm very glad you did. And kind of realized this game's starting to die. And most of these players are actually in team battle. They rather work in teams instead of doing you against everyone. Which I feel like I'm more into you against everyone, because when it comes to teams, it's pretty crappy. Especially for some of the people I actually gone against who are pretty much evil in general. Losing against a whole entire party, there's a humongous issue with that. It always made me so furious that I want to fight one of them one-on-one. Yet, I don't think I would ever get a chance to do so. One of those people is known as Saracen, who pretty much seems to be obsessed with having demon characters. Like, what? And then there's Roxario, who's always with that person. Don't know who the heck he is. If I get rid of those two one day, I'll be glad. That way I can just have them on my block list. That's kind of how it is now. If any monster in that game is ever defeated, that user becomes blocked. Therefore, I don't see them again because, well, that's it. Mission complete. You saw it. You see it happen many times. I always tend to catch clips of heroes getting rid of these monsters out of this game because they really do not belong here. I don't even know why Japan is obsessed with those monsters in the first place. At least I don't have to worry about it when it comes to Splatoon 3 anymore. Viking helmet? Hey, that's good enough. I mean, have you ever noticed it yourself? Most of these characters you've seen are females, which is very suspicious when you actually see the beginning modes that they use. The victories. I was already able to pick something was not right. And I never really understood why the heck they even had this. Some of the emotes in Ninja itself, I never really understood why they were ever made in the first place. They just don't feel like they belong in this game. Not really sure if you would feel the same. I know I feel that way. I think that's all I wanted to talk about games. Maybe? Let me see. Actually, you know what? Since I'm on this game right now, Super Smash Bros., if they were to make another Smash Bros. Game, we need more. I want more me types. Yes, we have a sword fighter, a brawler, and a gunner, but Mii's actually deserve more respect than any other character that has been in this game. In fact, the fact that people hate these characters so badly, say if you were to play as one in a 4-player free for all, there are those that actually will target you first. I tried looking into the internet to see why the heck do people hate me so much. One of the conclusions I found was that players don't consider them as real characters. Then I asked myself, if you don't consider a me as a real character, would it also mean that you yourself is not real? Which actually is kind of a dumb question if you think about it. Because you are living. But seriously, have hate on the me's? That's really disappointing. You use me's in many other games that doesn't really require such action, yet you hate them in a fighting game. Another answer I've managed to get is because the fact that they have many unique specials they could choose from. Well, not really sure what we could do about that. Ain't our fault. Speaking of specials, the mains actually really do deserve more specials than the ones I have right now. I'm not kidding. They really do. I would be very happy to actually see new meat types in this game. I'll be looking forward to it, such as a me with a long range spear, a me with a hammer, a me with claw like weapons similar to Wolverine, a me with, let's see, a bow and arrow, archery. Many other weapons that you could ever think of, many weapon types you can ever think of. I hope they'll become a thing in the new Smash Bros. Game. Me's deserve a lot more than what they're pretty much given, especially to this very day. You should know it, especially if you use Me's a lot. You know it. I am still disappointed the fact that you can't really give the Mii's any different heights and uh, how wide they could be and stuff anymore. That disappoints me. They had something like that back in Smash 4, though I never really had that experience. Wish I could, though. Then I probably wouldn't have to worry about Aiden always having to have a spirit to make where he's more of a heavyweight character. Which really should actually be the thing for the Mii's. The bigger they are, the slower they are due to them having such great strength. That pretty much is for every character. The smaller they are, the lighter they become, the more easy they can be launched, though they're just difficult to kind of reach. And they hit a lot. Speaking of a new Smash Bros. Game, they should make the new Smash Bros. Game a lot more like how Brawl was. Let me tell you, when Brawl came, Brawl was completely fun as ever. Even the Subspace Emissary, that mode is pretty much what made Smash Bros. Brawl the best Smash Bros. Game that ever exists. I mean, there was even crazy dynamic cutscenes and a whole lot of things. Especially that one part where everyone comes together and it's like now you have like all the characters throughout the story mode that you would need just to play the rest of the last bit of I don't know levels during your adventure. I always imagined how would it be if I actually used the Mii in that kind of mode. It would be fun. And I would be so happy to actually see the Mii's in action and cutscenes. That would look so sick. Speaking of that, what they should also do is change the way how their faces can look. Make it where Miitopia's stuff actually comes into that game. Because creativity is probably one of the best things you can actually ever do in a Smash Bros. Game. So, as much as we can create in Miitopia, we should be given the gift to do the same thing for Smash Bros. I mean, just think of it. How awesome, more awesome it would be. Especially just, seeing their hairs just not having emotion. That just gets me. It bugs me big time. It's like, okay, what is this? A whole entire Lego piece? I've been playing a lot of F Zero lately, and when the new update came, the rare, the really rare stage known as Red Canyon, which for some reason has a tough time being available. It's a really fun stage if you understand your turns and stuff. When I first played on it, I was already able to pick up a whole entire shortcut above the out of bounds area. So that was something. I still have a long way to go in Utopia. I went back to Mario Bros. U Deluxe because I realized there was one game mode me and my siblings have never played, not even complete. Therefore, we didn't complete this whole game. Well, of course, we didn't complete the whole entire game itself. We didn't 100%. Yet I'm trying to get to that. Luigi Bros U is well, I wouldn't say Luigi Bros, since there is. Well, actually, no, it is Luigi Bros. Yeah, Luigi Bros U Deluxe. I'm willing to give Pikmin 4 the demo version after completing Deltarune Chapter 2, which is actually crazy. For some reason, I've been starting to become very annoyed by the queen due to the fact that she keeps just like randomly appearing out of nowhere. And then there's Barley. Though after hearing his story, I guess I could accept him a little bit. But gosh, him over here trying to act like he's a whole entire nerd actually annoyed me. Even though nerds are really, really smart. But like, seriously, dude. And the faces he make, they're not even funny than Lancer's. See, Lancer actually knows how to make a really silly, funny face. Well, I guess that'll be it. And Edward, if you are still there and you're hearing this, yes, we can play a little bit of Smash. Though I would have to end the stream, so I'll tell you that. I don't know.
Step into the ring. Choose your fighter.
There she is.
Roller.